Hey,
Hello, how are you doing?
Happy New Year. Um,
Happy almost New Year. Happy New Year's Eve.
you look like you might be going out soon, are you?
No, not tonight. Well, no, not no.
You
Um,
going tomorrow night?
maybe, but we'll see. Maybe. How about you? Just staying in?
Oh, yeah, we're definitely staying in. And our big outing was to the diner a couple of nights ago. That was our most social event.
Yes. Yeah. So
Was
good
to
quiet week.
the diner in the parking lot. Yeah, pretty quiet. Um, we've both been doing some work actually
Yes.
on this and that. Um, uh, Santa Claus gave me and Victoria a um, tickets to learn how to make mozzarella at a
Oh,
place called Murray's Cheese on
yes.
Bleecker Street.
Nice.
Yeah, so sometime in February we're going to. She will definitely learn how to make mozzarella.
um, people, no, people, I don't think of it enough. Well, no, I read recently that 56% of people prefer experiences over physical gifts. So I mean, that's pretty significant, but we buy a lot of stuff this time of year. But no, something like a class that's,
Yeah,
yeah.
and we also got tickets to uh, a candlelight concert from Bach to the Beatles at the
Oh,
Church of the Heavenly Rest, which is up on Fifth Avenue and
nice.
90th or something. And that'll be very nice, I think. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's 2 nights. They're both one's on a Friday and one's on a Saturday. So
Right.
that will be big events in the city.
And
So yeah.
you haven't been to a concert in a long time.
Uh no, I haven't. The last concert we went to was Elton John.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So but this will. Oh, well, I did go. I think last summer I did go to a chamber music in Bridgehampton
Yeah.
festival.
Nice.
Uh, some contemporary and some classic, which was
Nice.
again in a church, which is nice.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I think my big rock concert days are probably they if at all they'll be virtual.
Yeah.
I think Billy Joel's had his last one. I think he's
Huh.
although I guess people like that may have many lost
Yeah.
ones.
Well, yeah. No, yeah. Some people have been having final tours for years, and that's okay. No, you can have a last hurrah and then change your mind. You can retire like Miyazaki and then make one more movie. I don't think anyone's going to be mad at you if you have
No, no,
talent.
no, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. I was just reading the obituary of Tom Wilkins.
Yes. 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 Great actor. No. Yes.
Great actor, and yeah, well, I don't know if he was under acknowledged, but he certainly was had a very wide range, and
Yep.
yeah, good guy.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know who else passed away this year. Oh,
No, and I mean, too many and too, yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm not doing that. I don't do, I mean, I have in the past done a like year in review, but I'm not doing any of that this year on my channel. And I mean, I predicted early on, and remember, I think Betty White died on I'm sorry, New Year's Eve last year, 2022,
oh,
at
okay.
she was 99. She would have been 100 because her birthday's in January. And I just predicted then 2023 is going to be a bad year for celebrity deaths. And it was. I mean, people like Matthew Perry, who died way too young, and
Yeah, yeah,
Tina Turner. And yeah, no, I mean, yeah. Um,
yeah.
did you watch any? Have you been watching anything? I was supposed to do well, no, I wasn't supposed to do work, but I had projects and things I wanted to do around the house, and I didn't. I just vegged and watched awful Lifetime holiday Christmas movies, and I don't feel guilty at all for that. But I'm just yeah, no. Did you watch anything good, or have you seen anything? What do you?
I will tell you something that I don't know whether I mentioned it last time. I kind of stumbled across it, and I mean, I get it on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Paris Police. The first one I saw was called Paris Police 1905, and that was like 6 episodes.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, I stumbled across its predecessor, which was
Oh,
Paris 1900,
huh.
which I'm
Yes.
watching now. But
Yes.
they're the same characters. They were extraordinarily well acted in
Huh.
terms of the both the character of the, well, I only know from looking at paintings like by Degas or Manet, but they capture physics cinematically. They're quite extraordinary,
Huh. Yeah.
and they have many they have many real characters, like this man Bertillon, who was a crazy policeman who invented, well, he started taking measurements of prisoners' skulls,
Mm-hmm.
also did
Mm-hmm.
fingerprints. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's a lot of the beginnings of people using police using the telephone.
Right.
And
It,
the plot of the one in 1900 all revolves around the Dreyfus trial and anti-Semitism in the police, and
yes.
all
Yes.
kinds of sinister relationships between butchers and prostitutes and prime ministers and and wealthy courtesans.
Yes.
It's very dark, actually, but it's extremely well acted
It
and
sounds very good. No, that sounds, yeah, no, that sounds,
quite compelling.
yeah.
It's just called Paris Police, and I think that's what it's called in French. I mean, that's the title at least. It's not it doesn't seem to be a translated title, because
Right.
sometimes they translate the titles differently,
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
so they're not easy to find. But I've been watching that, and a rather laborious Finnish detective called Lakeside Murders. And I don't know why. It's quite pedestrian, but I think I get fascinated by the cadence of the Finnish language,
Yes.
the characteristics of the people,
Yes.
and they're actually there's not a lot of emotion expressed, but they express the fact that there's not a lot of emotion expressed.
Yeah. Yes. No. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No.
In other
Yes.
words,
Yeah.
they struggle. I mean, husbands and wives struggle with their ability to communicate.
Yeah. Yes. Dozens of words for ennui. Yeah. Yeah. No. No. I do. I like Scandinavian. Yes. How about? Are you reading anything good?
Um, yeah, I just started. Well, it's a book by a man named Robert Goddard, and he generally writes spy mysteries, and I found this one though, which is it's a very old. I mean, it's a well-worn narrative. It's set in the 1880s, and it's about the heir to a baronetcy who presumably committed suicide on the eve of his marriage 11 years before, and turns up 11 years later. And
Right.
is he an imposter or is he not an imposter?
Yes.
How that affects the woman he was about to marry, who is now married,
Right. Yeah. No.
and
I like this. I like this kind of thing.
his brother, who is now the profligate baron spending all his money. And the characters are very, very good. And I mean, all of these stories are actually based on a real event that happened in the 1850s, which is
Mhm.
called the Tichborne event, because there was a man
Oh no. Okay. Because this. I mean, this. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
real, and
Yeah.
his mother. I mean, he was very wealthy. His mother never believed that he'd gone
Right.
down at sea in a ship.
Right.
She
Okay.
believed he was in Australia, and she advertised in the Australian press.
Huh.
And a butcher said, a guy who was a butcher came to England and said, "I'm the guy." And
Right.
even though
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
looked like the guy,
Yeah, yeah, no. Well,
he
because I
didn't
mean that's
sound
what
like
makes it right. Because then you could do that now with like you know,
the mother believed it was,
sure.
and
Yeah.
the whole country was divided. You
Yes.
know, they went to court, and it was
Yep.
kind of like it was it was good newspaper fodder for
Right.
for
No. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
people
And
rooting
no. Okay.
that I
Yeah.
guess that anyway.
Yeah. No. Okay. When you said newspaper fodder, okay, one of the big stories of 2023 that wasn't was this story of organized retail crime. And many outlets reported it, and Target said it was the reason that they were closing stores, Walgreens, many major
I lost you.
retailers
You
blamed it
froze.
for a lot of their
Can you hear
ills.
me,
Wait, say it again? Oh,
Bob?
yeah,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you not hear me?
Uh,
I'm here. Can you hear me?
there you are. Yeah,
Okay.
I lost you. Frozen. I lost you
Okay,
for.
yeah, no, no, I'm here. I'm
Anyway, I
back.
know what you're talking about. It's been on TV a bit, but
Yes,
not
but
in the
now
news.
the same media is patting itself on the back. I mean, it's reporting it as, oh wow, it was all kind of a hoax and it was all perpetuated by the Retail Sales Association. But it seemed like, I mean, it, I don't know. To me, it was obvious kind of at the time. I mean, that they were just using this excuse that most of the things that are, I mean, I'm not saying shoplifting hasn't always been and continues to be a problem for retailers, but it's not the main reason for all. I mean, retail is down because of Amazon, but they're not going to blame Amazon. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Um,
Well, I've noticed that there doesn't seem. I mean, there's CVS and Walgreens have closed
yes,
in various locations,
yes,
right? In New York, like
yes,
overnight on
yeah.
42nd and 8th, which was a huge double floor,
Right. No,
huge.
right. No, I was shocked that that one was gone. That Walgreens. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and in the neighborhood where I'm now got the Airbnb, which is the Upper East
Hmm.
Side, supposedly, there doesn't seem to be any rationale between what things are locked up in what stores. In other words, there are stores that seem to me to be in relatively safe high rent
Right.
areas where
Right.
everything's locked up. And
Yep.
you walk 2 blocks over to Second Avenue, and
Yeah.
there's the same store, and
Right.
everything's on the shelf. So
Right. I, yeah, I think that's part of it. They don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I think that they're trying to address theft, which is a real problem, but they're not doing it effectively. This most recently at the Safeway down the block from my house, I saw that they locked up the baby formula, which is, I mean, I get it, but that's tragic to me. When I think of the things that people are stealing, they're stealing formula, diapers, detergent, toothpaste. I mean, this tells me that
yeah,
this has nothing to do with retail sale. This is I mean the I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you
People
know
aren't
what?
stealing luxury goods. People aren't stealing.
They're not stealing things that they're selling. They're stealing things that they're using.
Well, I mean, they may be selling them too, because I think some people buy or steal mass amounts of Tide and then sell it to other people who can't afford it. But the reason that they can do that, the reason Tide has an economy on the black market, is because the actual economy isn't functioning for everyone. And so, yeah, I mean, but that's, I mean, that's,
It's also a self-perpetuating because in order to lock those things up, they have to have more employees, which means they have to charge more for what they're locking up
right.
because
Well, right.
costing them more
Yes.
to to uh the retail business is costing more if they need people who run around with keys all the time.
Right.
Although,
Well, they're getting rid of the self checks now. I mean, that feels like a 30-year failed, more
are
and
they
more
getting
stores.
rid of them?
Yeah,
They
well, more and more stores. I mean, the one store in England very famously banned them, and then Walmart has removed them in certain states, and I mean it's they people don't consumers don't like them. They don't speed things up. They actually make it easier for people to steal. I mean they don't work really. And you need I mean most people need an employee to help them with every transaction anyway, you know? I mean it's
Well, I do.
mm,
I mean, I know how to do it,
yes.
but I bring my own bag, but it
Oh,
doesn't recognize my bag, you
oh,
know?
yep.
Then once I start doing it, it stops me doing it, and the employee has to come, and
Right.
they just hit it and go on. But I mean, it's
It still takes that person and they have so right, yeah, no.
yeah. What's the point? Yeah. Uh, anyway, so
Yes. All right, Christmas decorations, when do they go down?
well, the one on our gate, I don't think I removed until March.
I think yeah. Yeah.
There's a huge inflated Santa in town.
Hmm.
I don't know when he's going to go down. Ours won't go down probably till the middle of January. I don't think we don't have a lot up actually, but in
Right, but yeah.
I did know. And many Christmas cards didn't actually get up.
Yes.
Uh, they they didn't get up. Some got up, some didn't get up, and I don't quite know what the protocol is when you send a Christmas card. Now, we're still doing this old physical card thing,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
so a lot of people now reply by email,
Ha.
right? Loved your card, da 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 da. Now, do I have to reply to that? This is
No.
what I want to know about the
No.
protocol because I'm doing two things,
Yeah,
right?
no, you don't have to. No, and that's, I mean, that's not even Christmas. That's just general purpose. You don't have to thank a thank you. If you thank someone
You
and then they
don't?
thank you,
Oh,
you don't have to thank their thank you to thank them. I mean, you can get stuck in an infinite loop. If yeah, no,
yeah.
yeah. So no, you're not obligated. You already and you did the physical thing,
Oh, that's what I feel.
which is still more at the same time. Um,
Well, it
and
may
you pat
not be.
yourself on the back. Remember, that's a lot for most of us. You have to plan it in advance and print them and get stamps. And I mean, I think most of us would send physical cards, but it's a lot for some of us.
No, I understand that. But there are people who send email Christmas cards.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, and I mean, well, but
I
people
think,
also
yeah,
they
I
also
think that
go
this
ahead.
is in between thing
Right.
because what people are doing is they're sending a screenshot of their Christmas card, right? Or a screenshot of the family photograph, right?
Right. I mean, I
Whereas I think what's going to develop is a video.
right. No. Okay. Well, now this goes into a different thing, and this has less to do with. Well, no, it is Christmas cards, but for me, this is the whole QR code debate. You show up at a restaurant and they don't have a menu you can look at. They have a code for your
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, yeah.
No, no, no. And I walk out, but I understand people increasingly live in a digital world. I, people are, if you send a physical card out. There are some no, I mean, no. There are some people who their whole they don't they barely live in the physical world. Everything they do in the physical world is manufactured for their online. It's all on. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
I know that.
so
I know
in
exactly what you're
in
saying.
their in that world, the online card is more meaningful than a physical card because that's the world they live in, and that's increasingly the world many people live in. That I don't get it, but it's I'm a very physical person. I like books and records and physical things you can touch, but not everyone does.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think the extension of sending a still image is a TikTok, I guess, is that although it will be a new generation thing, the e-Christmas cards that I get tend to be from people my age who seem to have found this as a much more a cheap and convenient
Sure,
way.
Sure.
right? Which is
Yes.
fine. And
Yes.
I'm nothing against that. But maybe the whole idea of exchanging greetings
Do
is,
you do you get those newsletters that some people send out at this time of year from anyone where they're like they kind of wrap up all their family achievements?
I, I did, I used to get from one guy who I met a long time ago, quite briefly.
yes.
He kept me, I mean, he kept every year I'd get this a copy of a kind of family. I
Yes.
barely remembered who his children were. In other words, I no, what actually, to go back to the e-card thing, your both your Uncle Johnny and
Mm.
my childhood friend Lindy Cronin, who is
Mhm.
exactly my age, they send Jackie Lawson cards.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know what a Jackie Lawson card is. A Jackie Lawson card is it's a cartoon video.
Oh,
It's very sweet in nature.
yes.
It has sparrows and gnomes,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's not supposed to be funny.
Mm.
It's supposed to be touching, right?
Right.
And it's very easy to send, I would imagine. I mean,
Yes.
because I've received them, they go after me to send them. The Jackie Lawson Company, right? They're very,
Yes.
they're very, but you reply to it, you see,
Yes.
and that's an email you're sending saying, thank you very much. We're all well, glad to hear you're well. But actually, you haven't heard anything from the other person. All you've done is
Was yes.
you've heard a song, a nice song about Christmas or your birthday or something.
Yes.
So I can't decide whether that means they've given a lot of thought and effort or none at all. I don't know. I hope they're not watching because anyway. So no,
Yeah.
I love Jackie Lawson. Your cards are
Yeah, no, but I agree with you. I think the video will be the logical say. Well, no, that's where I was going with the newsletter. I wonder what those people are doing now. I bet they have full blown productions with crane shots to get their children in the most dramatic and their all their high speed photography for their sports
I'm sure that,
achievements and
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I would think that's probably a I think that married people in their late 30s with
Mm,
younger children who have some money are probably into that big time.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds about the right demographic.
So how about that Civil War, eh?
Eh, which part? I mean, I
Part,
mean,
part without the slate, the nice part.
right? No, I mean, yeah, but no, I mean, again, to me, the media patting themselves on the back for all the reporting about this DeSantis coming out to say, "How dare she?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding?" He's like, "Everyone knows this." I'm like, "No, they don't. If they were educated in Florida under your system that says that black people benefited from slavery, you have no place standing in this argument to but I mean, I guess she's an easy target. So, but no, again, I'm not defending her. I'm not saying
No,
her.
but the fact that you can say that in this day and age anywhere.
The fact that I mean, no, I mean, it should be shocking that you're the second running Republican nominee and can say that in 2023. But that's how many people feel. They adamantly feel they have been raised, and yeah, they know slavery, but they so adamantly believe it that they will argue you on this, and you're like, no, it's actually in the Articles of Confederation. There's no states' rights nonsense. They fought over slavery. That's what they were fighting for. But they will argue this because there are whole parts of the country where this is their culture to believe this, to believe it, or to just keep perpetuating it until you can convince yourself that you believe it, even if on some deeper level you must know it's not true. I mean, I don't know. This is exhausting. It's yeah.
I mean, the questioner called her on it, and he gave her a second chance, which she blew.
Well, no, she tried to put it back on him, which thank
Like,
you, random American doing what journalists should do, asking
yeah,
the tough questions. And when she put it back on him, because so many times journalists, even when they ask the tough question, then when they get the softball answer, they go, oh, okay. They don't push it. He said, I'm not running for president. That's what he said. No, you answer the question. I'm not running for president. And then she had to go hamina, 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 and stumble through a stupid answer. But like, I mean, yeah, yeah. I'm so mad. I know. I guess this is my theme for this episode. I'm so mad at journalists. I think they've just completely absconded. They've done none of their job. Trump could not be the forerunning candidate for that party if they had done their job properly. And all of them, not the left, not the right, not I mean, all of them. Fox, MSNBC. I mean, Steve Bannon didn't get him there. Like only like 10,000 people watch that show. It's the mainstream media that he criticizes daily, and they publish his criticism, which gives him credibility over them while they defend themselves. I'm so mad at journalists this year. That's where I'm at.
well, yeah, I think you put your finger on it in terms of the back and forth, because the journalists that I watch either on CNN or MSNBC,
yes,
they seem to believe that the time slot is some kind of a god, because they will ask the tough question, right? To appear to be probing, right? And actually, when that program is advertised elsewhere, they always show the person asking that question,
yes,
right?
yeah.
But then they say, we've only got 5 seconds left, or we've got to go to a break. Why do they have to go to? Why do they only have 5? It's not dictated by anything, right?
Yep.
Why does the article have to be only for illiterate people who can manage to read something for 10 seconds?
Right.
Why can't they go and go and go and keep that person on so that we can all hear them get either explain their position or get but they don't.
Yeah,
Because
no,
it's all
exactly.
talking heads, and they're all given, like, I don't know what it is, 65 and a half seconds.
Yeah. The weirdest thing was the day that SAG-AFTRA strike ended, NPR had Fran Drescher on. She was literally in the middle of a statement, and it was quite poignant. And then the person just cuts her off in the middle and says, "We have to go." And she actually said, she was like, "Oh, okay." And then they were like, "Any final thoughts?" And she was like, "No." Like they cut her off to recap things they had already said in the show, rather than have the live guest finish their statement. And to me, this is even like absconding, like for you're like, they're not doing their job from like a like they're not even like, this is basic. Like, yeah, why are they interrupting like I am exhausted with professionals being paid to do.
The producer is telling them over their earplug,
I know. Are they listening to something in their earpiece?
ask this question, right?
Right.
Then when the person is answering the question, the producer is telling the interviewer, you've only got 30 seconds left, right? So it's not it's not an exchange. It's anyway.
Last thing. We were starting to talk about this last week. In Iowa, I think it was Iowa. Maybe it was Illinois. Now I'm forgotten. It was Iowa. A statue of a satanic deity was put up in a state hall at the same time that, because a nativity scene was put up, legal right to do so. Some guy burst in, broke it. People, again, like Ron DeSantis and other prominent right-wing figures, promised to pay for his defense. But again, to me, this is all very interesting, how you're all very law and order unless people are breaking laws you disagree with. I mean, you're all free speech unless the free speech is speech you disagree. I don't know. It's just, any thoughts on any of that? Like, did you hear about this at all? I mean, either
It's vaguely familiar. I
yeah,
didn't read the DeSantis end of it. I read or I saw something maybe about the satanic business.
yes,
Uh, I read, I think I saw more about kind of dueling um, Jewish Palestinian not necessarily demonstrations, but I don't know, events, uh,
yes,
and and the general lack of comprehend no, or not the lack of comprehension. It's just that you're either on one side or the other. I mean that's kind of the
well, to me, you're either on one side or the other, and it, to me, what is scary is the elevated level of willing to sink to tactics that are not that if you agree with the side, like, yeah, I mean, there are hundreds of death threats against synagogues, bomb threats. Someone swatted Marjorie Taylor Greene's house. I hate Marjorie Taylor Greene, but swatting can lead to sometimes the police show up and then they accidentally shoot someone. I mean, to me, that's a violent crime. It's not harmless. And and again, I hate Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I wouldn't advocate for that. And so it seems on both sides now they're both sides, all sides, whatever side you're on, willing to sink. There is no longer a back to the Civil War. Yeah, no, there's no longer a what I, what's
you
right.
cannot
Like,
a rational disagreement. You're either for me or you're against me. If you're not 100% for me, then you're against me.
and if you're against me, I will do and can do whatever, and
Yeah,
people will defend my doing whatever because you're the other. And that's I mean that's to me what's really disturbing because I very quickly regardless of your political side, it's that everyone is just willing to sink down to do whatever, to make death threats, to yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling super hopeful going into 2024.
no, I'm not either. I especially since the the cycle of presidential uh, politics starts the minute after somebody's been elected. And it seems to me the other problem I have with the press is that they don't really cover governing. All they cover is this kind of race. Who's going to another and it I mean it goes on for like we have 2 years, at least 2 years of a run-up to every presidential election,
Right.
which is 4 years, which means that we're consumed by that. Who's going to win? Who's
Well, I
winning?
mean,
Who might win?
well, it's easy to blame one person, and I think the person is an easy target. But Donald Trump never stopped campaigning. He continued to do from the day he entered office campaign style rallies.
Yeah.
He created that again. He created this cycle that my whole thing is his supporters are bored. The reason I would never forget his politics, forget the reason I would never ever vote for him is because I remember what those 4 years felt like when you woke up every morning with like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? What is his supporters must love that feeling because they want that back. They want that
Yeah.
unpredictability, but like that was terrifying every single day. So yeah, like yeah, again, but the media also thrives on that cycle. That's why they're addicted.
They give him the air, they give him the oxygen. I mean,
Yeah,
Trump is at every headline in the New York Times, right?
but then again, I can't stop talking about him either. So I don't know what right. I mean, it's so nah, yeah,
Virus. He's a virus.
yeah, but no,
So
20.
thoughts on your birthday?
I'm feeling good about it. I again like yeah no. How are you feeling? Because you asked me how I felt about the number. You have a child of that age. How does that feel? Or adult child of that age? How does that feel to you? Like does that I to me it's good. I'm here. I'm still here. I'm hanging in
Well,
there.
I'm very pleased about that. Yeah. No, I think it's an accomplishment. So yeah.
Yeah no I'm good. I'm glad. I get some time off and then back to work, and I'm looking forward to that. So,
Great.
okay. I
Love
love
you.
you.
Love you. I'll talk to you briefly on Tuesday. I'm going back to work.
Okay. All right.
Touch base with you on your birthday.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Let's. Bye.